Hello. In this video tutorial, we're going to discuss and show you how to download market replay data so you can run TSENQNT8 and see how the trades would have gone with different configurations of TSENQNT8. So first of all, we need to be connected to our live account, which we are right here. You can see the green dot tells us we are connected. If you go to connections, you can see what you're connected to, and that's our live account in this case. To capture the replay data for a specific day, you would go to the Tools menu, and about 2/3 of the way down, you'll see Import, and you would select that, and then you would select Historical Data. A dialog box will come up, and in that you will see several options. But the Get Market Replay Data is the one we're interested in. So you click on that, and then you'll get the option to select the instrument that you want to download. In this case, it's the NQ. And the default will be the prior day. So today is actually July 20th, 2018, but the full day was yesterday, so that would be the 19th. If you select the down arrow here, it will show you a full calendar, and you can see today is the 20th, but NT is going to go ahead and download all the data for the 19th. So we'll select that, and you can see loading data, and NT is busy going to the historical data servers and pulling that information down. So as we do that, that obviously takes a little bit of time. You can also pull today's data if you choose, but it'll only pull down the data through the current time. So again, you would go to this option, you would select today and say download, and we would have the same download going on for today's data. So once that is done, we can go ahead and close this dialog box, and these grayed out fields will obviously light back up. Once we do that, sometimes this takes a little bit of time because it depends on how many ticks have gone through in that time period. So here we go, the data is done and it is now downloaded. So we can close this dialog box, but we're still connected to the live market here. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect from the live market. So you go to connections and you select whatever you're connected to and say disconnect. And your little green light goes out. Give this a few seconds. Sometimes if you try and connect to the market replay too quickly, you'll get an error from NinjaTrader saying that you haven't disconnected yet. So just give this a few seconds. Then go ahead and go up to connections and select playback connection. And then you'll get your little green dot. And NinjaTrader is telling you the date range it's trying to load. This particular computer has data from July 12th through, of course, now the part of the 20th. So as it's downloading all of that data, all of this is grayed out. You do need to wait for this to light up like it just did. In our case, we're not going to run all of the data from July 12th. We're going to run from the 19th through the 20th. So you select the down arrow, we go down to the 19th, and I usually like to hit tab to be sure it's gone off to get that data, and you can see it did go do that. So at this point, you'll notice that the data for the 19th starts at 9 p.m. and that's the reason I actually chose the 19th, because if you chose the 20th, it would have said it's out of range. We're going to move this cursor forward to the time that we want to actually start running the replay. But before we do that, come back to your chart, come back to your strategy, and your strategy is sitting right here, and you can select it. And now the chart, the strategy, and the replay data or playback data are all hooked together. So we're going to grab this cursor, move it forward to approximately a little after 6 o'clock in the morning. This is a California-based computer, so those are the timelines. The market opens at 6:30. We release it. You'll see these guys gray out for a little bit while the data gets loaded, and you can see that NinjaTrader is moving the data field forward, and this takes a little bit of time because it's actually populating the chart as well in replay time to get you to 6 o'clock in the morning on the 20th, and you can actually see the time changing up here as we move forward through the night of the 19th into the early morning hours of the 20th. So we have to wait for this data to load, and as we wait for the data to load, we're going to get to eventually to 6:30. I'm sorry, a little after 6 o'clock in the morning, California time, waiting to start our strategy and see how it did this morning. So as I said, you do need a little bit of patience, and do wait for this. If you go ahead and click the play button, all kinds of interesting things happen. So just go ahead and wait until all this lights back up and you're able to properly select the play button. And we're almost there. It's 5:30 according to this, and we're be close to 6, and we should light up, and there we go. So here it is, 6:14 a.m. on July 20th, and we're ready to use the replay data to see how TSENQ with its current settings would have done this morning. So go ahead and press play, and you will see that the play button turns into a pause button, so obviously you can pause the data. Now this is running at regular time speed, and that's obviously slow. You want to go quicker so you can get to where you need to faster. One caution, you don't want to accelerate this too much because you'll fly past all the trades and you won't really see what happened. 100 times is usually good. If you're in a real hurry, you can use the 500 time, and then there's even 1,000 in a max, but you won't see anything at those speeds. So 100 times should work out pretty well. In this case, the TSE is set to start trading at 6:50, so we're not quite there, and so now we are there. So now TSENQ is live and ready to trade. Some of you have probably noticed that the background colors are not changing on this. This usually happens when there's a memory limitations on the computer you're using. In this case, obviously we're running a lot on this particular computer, so you're not seeing the color changes. You can see we took a quick trade, made a loss of $15 on that in this particular configuration of TSE. It's running 2 contracts, so one's taken off at plus 8 or 9 or something, and then the other is allowed to run. And in this current version configuration of TSENQNT, it looks like the profit target is set to $180. We've exceeded that, so it will not take any more trades. So it had a nice little profitable morning this morning. So that's how the replay works. You can grab the cursor and drag it back to 6 a.m. Unfortunately, you have to wait for all the data to load again. This is kind of tedious, but that's the way this works. And while all that's going on, you can actually disable your strategy, right-click on it, go to Edit, and make some changes. If you want to change the configuration of your strategy, let's say we decide we want it to start at 6:30 a.m. California time, and everything else stays the same. So we say OK, and once we've made those changes, we can enable the strategy and wait for all of this to catch up. So that's how you would make your changes. That's how you would download your replay data and work with your replay data. Hopefully that's of help. Thank you.